75% of Americans claim Social Security before their full retirement age, and most financial advisors will tell you that's a mistake. But here's what those same advisors won't show you. A couple with a $400,000 traditional IRA who delays Social Security until 70 can end up paying more in taxes during the waiting years, not less. Their IRA withdrawals to cover living expenses push them straight into the 22% or 24% federal tax bracket. The bigger check arrives, the bigger tax bill comes with it. Waiting longer, paying more, that's not the deal anyone signed up for. And there's a second problem nobody is calculating, one that specifically affects people with more than $250,000 in a traditional 401k or IRA. It has nothing to do with your monthly benefit amount, but it silently costs some retirees $25,000 or more over a 5-year window. Most people who delay Social Security never even know this number exists. That's what this video is about. Every month you delay the wrong decision costs you money you cannot recover. The Social Security Administration doesn't call you with corrections. This is entirely on you. Here are the 5 reasons why you should claim Social Security at 62, and we'll go through each one with real numbers so you can see where you actually stand. Reason 1. Your health history changes the break-even math. Here's a number most people have never calculated for themselves: the Social Security break-even age. If you claim at 62, your benefit is reduced by up to 30% compared to your full retirement age benefit. That's a real cut. The SSA calls it an early filing reduction, 0.5% per month for the first 36 months and 0.5% for each additional month before full retirement age. But here's the question that actually matters. How long do you need to live for waiting to pay off? Let's use a concrete example. Imagine you're entitled to $1,800 per month at your full retirement age of 67. If you claim at 62 instead, you'll receive approximately $1,260 per month, a reduction of $540. Now, if you wait until 67, you gain that extra $540 per month, but you also gave up $1,260 every month from age 62 to 67. That's $75,600 in total benefits you didn't collect during those 5 years. To make up that $75,600 gap, you need to live past your break-even point, which in this scenario is approximately age 80 to 81. The average American man today lives to age 76. The average American woman lives to age 81. So if you're a man in average health or below average health, the math does not automatically favor waiting. Now, factor in your family history. If your father passed at 71 and your mother at 74, and you've had your own health challenges, a cardiac event, diabetes, a cancer diagnosis, your personal break-even calculation looks completely different from the generic advice you'll find online. This isn't morbid math. This is your money. The Social Security Administration doesn't refund the years you spent waiting if you don't make it to 80. That money is simply gone. The action step here is simple. Go to ssa.gov, pull up your Social Security statement, and look at your estimated benefit at 62 versus 67 versus 70. Then sit down and actually calculate your personal break-even age. If your health history or family longevity suggests you may not comfortably reach 80, claiming at 62 deserves serious consideration. If this is making sense so far, hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a video like this one. Reason 2. You have other income sources that make the delay pointless. Here's a scenario I see constantly. A 62-year-old retiree has a pension paying $2,400 per month. They also have a 401k with $320,000. And they're sitting on $180,000 in a traditional IRA. They've been told to delay Social Security until 70 to maximize their benefit. But here's the problem nobody walked them through. Between age 62 and 70, while they're waiting on Social Security, they have to live on something. so they start pulling from that $320,000 401k. At a 4% withdrawal rate, that's $12,800 per year in additional taxable income, on top of the $2,400 monthly pension. Their provisional income, which is how the IRS determines how much of your Social Security gets taxed, is already climbing. By the time they finally claim Social Security at 70 and receive that larger benefit, up to 85% of their Social Security income is taxable because their combined income pushed them past the $44,000 threshold for married filers. Now, compare that to claiming Social Security at 62. Yes, the benefit is smaller, but they stop draining the 401k so aggressively. The 401k keeps compounding. The tax hit on Social Security is lower because their overall income is lower, and they have the flexibility to do partial Roth conversions during the lower income years before RMDs begin at age 73. This is what I mean when I say waiting isn't always the right move. The bigger Social Security check at 70 can come with a hidden tax bill that erodes much of the gain. The question to ask yourself is this: if I delay Social Security, what am I living on in the meantime? And what does that withdrawal strategy actually cost me in taxes over a 10-year period? That answer changes everything. Now, let me quickly cover reason 3, because this one specifically affects married couples, and it's one of the most overlooked planning opportunities in all of Social Security. Reason 3. The survivor benefit strategy most couples get wrong. When most people think about Social Security for married couples, they focus on their own individual benefit. That's a mistake. Here's why. When one spouse dies, the survivor spouse receives the higher of the two benefits, and the lower one disappears. This is called the survivor benefit, and it is one of the most powerful features in the entire Social Security system. Most couples assume that both spouses should delay claiming to maximize their individual checks. But there's a strategy that often produces significantly better lifetime results. The lower-earning spouse claims at 62. The higher-earning spouse delays until 70. Here's a real example to illustrate why. Take a couple. She earned more over her career, entitled to $2,900 per month at 70. He earned less, entitled to $1,400 per month at 67, or $980 per month if he claims at 62. If he claims at 62, they bring in $980 from his benefit while her larger benefit continues growing at 8% per year between 67 and 70 due to delayed retirement credits. When he passes away first, which statistically is the more likely scenario, she receives his benefit or hers, whichever is higher. Since hers was $2,900, she keeps that. His early claiming didn't cost her anything on the survivor side. But here's the critical part. The household collected his Social Security income for years longer. That $980 per month from age 62 to 67 alone is $58,800 they would have left on the table if he had waited. Now, if the situation were reversed, if she were the lower earner, the math would need to be recalculated because the survivor benefit becomes more expensive to sacrifice. The point is, the optimal Social Security strategy for married couples is almost never both of you wait as long as possible. It requires actual math based on your specific income history and health picture. If you're married and haven't run this calculation with your actual Social Security statements in hand, that's the homework from this section. Reason 4. The Roth conversion window and why claiming early protects it. This is the one I said would surprise you. There is a narrow window, generally between age 60 and 63, that financial planners call the Roth conversion window. It's the period after you've stopped working, but before Medicare Part B premiums kick in, before RMDs begin at age 73, and before Social Security income starts stacking on top of your other income. During this window, your taxable income is at its lowest point. The 12% federal tax bracket for married filers covers income up to $89,075 in 2024. The 22% bracket runs to $340,100. If your income is low enough, you can convert a portion of your traditional IRA or 401k into a Roth IRA, paying taxes at 12% today, and then watch that money grow tax-free for the rest of your life and pass to your heirs with zero required minimum distributions. Here's the connection to claiming Social Security at 62 that almost nobody talks about. If you delay Social Security until 67 or 70, you need income to live on, which means you're pulling from your traditional IRA or 401k heavily between 62 and 70. Those withdrawals fill up your low tax brackets, the exact space you needed for Roth conversions. By claiming Social Security at 62, even at the reduced amount of, say, $1,260 per month, you reduce how much you need to pull from your retirement accounts. That keeps your taxable income lower, and that gives you room to do strategic Roth conversions at the 12% rate instead of the 22% rate. The difference between converting $50,000 at 12% versus 22% is $5,000 per conversion per year. Over a 5-year window, that's $25,000 in tax savings. That is not a small number. And once you're past age 73 and RMDs are forcing mandatory withdrawals from your traditional accounts, that window is closed. Whatever you didn't convert, you'll pay ordinary income tax on whether you want to or not. This is why the decision of when to claim Social Security is not just a Social Security question, it's a tax planning question. And for people with significant traditional IRA or 401k balances, claiming at 62 can create space for Roth conversions that more than offset the reduced monthly benefit. If you're in your early 60s and you have more than $250,000 in traditional retirement accounts, this reason alone is worth a serious conversation with a tax professional before you make your claiming decision. Reason 5. The quality of life reason and why it's legitimate. I want to close with something that doesn't show up in any calculator. There are people watching this video who are tired. They've worked 35 or 40 years. They have health challenges that aren't life-threatening, but make every day harder than it used to be. They have grandchildren they don't see enough. They have a spouse who wants to travel while they still can. They have a list of things they've been putting off for decades. And every financial article they read tells them to wait, to delay, to sacrifice present joy for a larger number on a future statement. Here's what I believe after looking at retirement numbers for a long time. Financial security matters, but so does the time you spend alive. If you are 62 years old, you have roughly 800 to 1,000 weeks of reasonably active life remaining, statistically speaking. Not forever, not an unlimited runway, a finite number of weeks. The Social Security break-even math assumes you live to 80. But even if you do live to 80, you'll be 80. The years between 62 and 70 are, for many people, the most physically capable retirement years they'll ever have. Claiming Social Security at 62, if it allows you to stop working, to travel, to be present with your family, to do the things that genuinely matter to you, is not a financial mistake. It is a life decision. And a life decision that makes you genuinely happier, reduces your stress, and lets you spend meaningful time with the people you love is not something a spreadsheet can tell you to ignore. Now, I am not saying throw caution to the wind. If you have very little savings and Social Security will be your primary income, the math of waiting becomes much more important. A 24% reduction in your monthly check for life is serious when that check is your main lifeline. But if you have other assets, a pension, a spouse who's still working, or savings that can supplement your income, and your gut is telling you it's time, don't let anyone shame you out of that decision without first doing the actual math on your specific situation. The SSA doesn't award extra points for waiting, and you can't get those years back. Don't let this be just another video you watched and forgot about by tomorrow. Take calculated decision based on these 5 reasons, and let me know in the comments, what is your age, and are you planning to claim Social Security early, or are you waiting until 67 or 70? If this video helped, please show some love and support by leaving a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want to know about 6 costly mistakes that almost 83% of retirees make, that video is right here. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.